And we are live. I am Phoenix on Purpose, and this is Purpose Not Permission. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for watching. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as you come into the room, hit that like button so that this YouTube video can be shared across the platform. If you are listening to the replay, thank you for watching. Make sure you're also subscribed and leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of the topic. So if you are able to hear me well, put a 1 in the chat. I'm looking over at the comments now. Put a 1 in the chat if you're able to hear me well. If I need to adjust the audio, put a 2 in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me well. I think I adjusted the sound from the last time I did a live stream video. I think this is a little bit better now, according to what I'm hearing in my headphones and what I tested earlier. So yeah, let's get started. I want to discuss the Jerrod Carmichael debacle that's going on all over social media. I made a tweet last night after I actually watched the last Breakfast Club interview that Jerrod Carmichael did. And this is going to be a loaded video for me. It'll probably run at least an hour or more. I'm going to drive this plane all over the world with this content and then eventually land the plane. If you have an unhealthy relationship with your ego, if you lack self-awareness, if you are someone who is easily offended, and you don't want to dive into your critical thinking skills and really, really hear every word that I'm saying and not be offended by it, just digest the information, eat the meat, spit out the bones, digest my perspective and my opinion. If you're someone who's unable to do that, you may want to click off this live video right now because you are going to be offended. Specifically, I am speaking to us, the Black community, particularly social media culture, obviously, right? I'm a little perturbed behind the Jerrod Carmichael situation. Reason being is because I highly admire him. I have a whole lot of admiration and respect for Jerrod Carmichael. I have been a fan of his. He's become one of my top 3 comedians behind number 1, D.L. Hughley, a fellow Pisces with an outspoken, very outspoken nature, wild sense of humor, highly, highly educated, accomplished Black man, and did a lot in his career with just a GED. Overcame his circumstances. Number 2 on my list is Dave Chappelle, my number 2 favorite comedian, and third is Jerrod Carmichael. I think all 3 of those Black men are highly intellectual, deep thinking Black men who have a unique perspective that they absolutely positively don't mind putting into their art, as well as relaying their perspective in a way that is digestible to those that are interested in hearing and listening to what they have to say in their interviews and every public appearance that they've ever done. I think those gentlemen are very candid. They seem to be very sincere. They always, in my opinion, evoke thought-provoking conversations. So those are my top 3. Again, I'm highly offended. I have secondhand embarrassment behind a lot of things that happen on social media, but definitely secondhand embarrassment by number 1, Jerrod Carmichael being given Donkey of the Day. And if you all are not, looks like I am frozen on YouTube. I'm going to continue. We're streaming live on IG as well as Twitter. So the feed will be saved. I'm going to continue. I feel that Jerrod Carmichael is someone who, again, seems to be genuine and authentic. I came to know him from you know what, let me actually try what's happening here on YouTube. I'm not sure why the presentation stopped. I'm not sure why. It looks like I'm frozen. Uh-oh. It blinked out again. Did this really happen again? Yes, it did. Uh-oh. Oh, there I am. Okay. We're unfrozen now. Sorry about that, guys. In my opinion, Jerrod Carmichael is highly intelligent. He's one of our best and brightest. Um, an accomplished Black man, has a long legacy and an extensive career in media and culture. He's spoken often about his relationships that he has established with the networks, HBO, CBS. He's put out quality content, in my opinion, that speaks to primarily mental health primarily mental health. As a Black man, it's something that we don't see often. It's something that I have never seen. um, I didn't know all this debacle was going on the internet. I'm somewhere in a different world doing other things. But when I got wind of it, I didn't even know that there was a new Jerrod Carmichael interview. I first came to know him from one of his Breakfast Club interviews. I wasn't even aware that Jerrod Carmichael had a scripted television show, The Carmichael Show. I don't really enjoy mindless entertainment, and I'm going to be distasteful in this moment. So, trigger warning, I don't enjoy niglet content. I don't enjoy niglet, mindless, tell live vision programming that's not teaching me anything. As I understand it now, the show itself was also thought provoking. He was one of the executive producers. Also, he starred in the show. I'm sure he was one of the writers as well. I don't know all the credits that he got off the top of my head from that show, but as I understand it, his relationship with the comedian Little Rel turned into a spinoff, so to speak, or a show in and of itself, a separate show, the Little Rel Show. Those were both shows were eventually canceled, but I knew nothing of either. Even if I knew of them at the time that they were airing, I would not have tuned in. That's not my type of content. I like things that are a little bit more intellectual and things that are actually going to be beneficial in my evolution, my personal evolution and growth, and the furtherance of Black culture in a way that's not circular on a hamster wheel, but it leads us up and out. So that's what I'm more, interested in and drawn to. That type of content is what I'm more drawn to. I really don't do a whole lot of sitcoms or anything. Like I said, for me, it's just mindless television programming. It's not, helpful. But with the donkey of the day given to Jerrod Carmichael, number one, I feel like it was unfounded. It was totally unfair, in my opinion. I feel like for it to have been from someone that he considered and called a friend was even more hurtful and distasteful. And you could see it all in Jerrod Carmichael's body language and energy when he showed up at the Breakfast Club, whenever that interview was taken, but it aired 2 days ago. Whenever he showed up at that interview, he came in guns blazing and was standing on business with how he felt, and his explanation of what he meant by the quote unquote distasteful race joke that he did in his stand up comedy. And that was, I guess, the premise behind why Charlemagne the God gave Jerrod Carmichael Donkey of the Day. As I understand it, in my personal opinion, the Donkey of the Day, the joke was completely taken out of context. There was no real research done. I actually watched Jerrod Carmichael's new HBO special. I actually am aware. I was privy to that joke. I heard it before I heard the full context. I wasn't offended by it at all. I didn't think that it was any sort of joke that was being relayed to mimic any sort of master slave sex role play. I didn't take it that way at all. I totally understood what he meant. I think with certain comedians, certain entertainers, certain actors that we watch and listen to, there has to be, I think they're geared toward, number one, certain classes of Black folks. Again, if you are uncomfortable with yourself, this is where you're going to want to exit stage left. Have a seat in a little chair on the in the corner and stare at the wall for a little bit and gather yourself. If you feel like coming back in, you're more than welcome. I think that there are certain, again, entertainers, actors, comedians that are more geared toward a higher class of Black folks, those who have experienced multicultural life experiences, have existed in multicultural spaces of all socioeconomic backgrounds, races, creeds, colors, and we've actually had the experience of being in those environments, being embraced and welcomed. And, whereas our own community can tend to ostracize or shut us out. I know many of us that have had that experience and have had a lot of trauma behind it. Number one, again, us, myself included. I think that it is hard to be highly educated and exist in a space of the predominant Black culture who does not value education. I think that, in my opinion, Black culture as a whole suffers from the crux of our mental health issues is bipolarism. We have a love hate relationship with everything that is of education, higher socioeconomic status. We have a love hate relationship with success. We have a love hate relationship with luxury. We have a love hate relationship with seeing other people win in love relationships, specifically Black women who wind up in hypergamous love relationships where they are stay at home wives and mothers and they are provided for and they take on the submissive role of the housewife. We have a bipolar relationship with seeing those archetypes and tropes played out in real life. We say that we root for Black love and Black excellence, but at the same time, we hate on it with a visceral response. The way that everyone tears down Steve Harvey's wife. You get called a gold digger if you are hypergamously married, where your husband is the leader of the household. He's the one who works, and you are a provided for stay-at-home wife and or mother. Again, someone who's a stay-at-home girlfriend, fiance, wife, mother, building your own business, brand, taking care of home, taking care of the kids. A lot of us hate to see it. A lot of us don't understand that the other races of society, namely white folks, take our best and brightest and welcome us with open arms, whereas our own community will shun us once we reach a certain level of status. Even Mike Epps, the comedian, makes jokes about it in his art all the time. He has a running joke in some of his art that as soon as he got some money, he got away from Black folks. I don't agree with a sentiment of quote unquote getting away from Black folks. But if you really think about it, I mean, what is a Black person's biggest threat when they walk out of their front door every single day? Again, like I said, I'm going to fly this plane all over the place and I'm going to land it. I think Jerrod Carmichael being given Donkey of the Day by Charlemagne the God was a misstep and a missed opportunity. I think that the conversation, especially once Jerrod Carmichael was in the Breakfast Club studio, sitting there in his face, pleading with him, saying, I'm your friend, explaining his take on his joke, what he meant by it, trying to clarify that he was not trying to make an intentional race baited joke, being gaslit the whole way through. Mental health advocate, Charlemagne, you got this one wrong. You owe that man an apology, especially if you say that that is your friend. Jerrod Carmichael, in my opinion, let me rewind. I was first introduced to him by way of the Breakfast Club. He's been on there multiple times. My first interview that I saw of him was, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. He has on like a Hawaiian shirt. And I'm like, what is this conversation about? I randomly clicked on the interview. I listened to it and I became a fan from that moment ever since. Not really. I don't really do the fan thing. I'm using the wrong word. I'm not the word fan. I became a consumer of his art. I wanted to know more about him. I went on a deep dive. I've seen all of his HBO comedy specials, his stand up. It's very thought provoking, highly intelligent, highly intellectual. That man is a genius, in my opinion. Um, I've seen his HBO specials prior to this reality show that he's doing now from years ago, home videos, and then Sermon on the Mount. This is another Black man from the Bible Belt. He's from North Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. Charlemagne, with you being a fellow Geechee from South Carolina, I don't understand how you can't relate to a lot of what he said. And I initially thought that their friendship was rock solid from my perception of the initial interview that I saw. Apparently, he's been on the Breakfast Club many, many years prior, maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago. Um, multiple times, multiple times. I've seen 3 of his interviews on the Breakfast Club. I've seen his interview with Jay Shetty. I enjoy that podcast immensely. It's thought provoking. It evokes healing and personal growth and development. So that's my, primary area of focus. I feel like, again, missed opportunity to discuss a Black man who not only became successful in his own right many years prior to him coming out as gay, a Black man who has sat in your face, Charlemagne, and told you that he struggles with his own mental health issues, his own identity crisis, his own severed relationship with his family dynamic for coming out as gay, his own severed relationship with his mother. He sat in that interview. I felt that he was pouring his heart out, trying to over explain himself and give clarity to his statement that apparently caused an uproar on social media, and everyone is up in arms. But I'm really wondering, is the up in arms and the uproar with Jerrod Carmichael solely based on the joke itself, the context of the joke, which was taken out of context, or is it more so based in the fact that he's in an interracial relationship? He's in a gay relationship with a white man. Clearly, he tried to develop a relationship with a Black man. He's had a crush on Tyler, the Creator. He talked about that in the interview over and over again, discussed it, has shown that play out, the embarrassment of him being in love with what he calls his best friend and being rejected. He tried to get into a relationship with a Black man. I'm saying that for a reason. I think our best and our brightest in the Black community, once we reach certain levels of intellect, once a lot of Black women specifically climb the corporate ladder and we reach our heights of our success, we are breathing thin air. And our Black male counterparts, for the most part, I'm saying the majority of them, outside of athletes and rappers, there are very few eligible Black men to date. That's the reality that we live, that a lot of people discount. We love Black men so much. So many of you Black men have broken severed relationships with your mother, and you display characteristics as if you hate us. A lot of you all are hard to love. We love you all so much. We give birth to you all, and you disrespect us on a daily basis. There was a point brought up in the Breakfast Club interview between Charlemagne and Jerrod Carmichael, where he brought up the fact that Jerrod Carmichael himself called his own mother the B word, a bitch. And Charlemagne is trying to hammer him to the cross, nail him to the cross for calling his Black mother the B word. And Jerrod Carmichael is pleading with Charlemagne, and he's saying to him, no one's asking me why. No one's asking me the why behind what I said. I didn't say it cavalierly or nonchalantly. He said, yeah, I say in the N word, I use that. I use the B word often, as most of us do in our private lives, as most Black men do, all over social media, in the public. You call Black women the B word all day, every day, and disrespect us, and do far worse to disrespect us. But Charlemagne was trying to nail Jerrod Carmichael to the cross for calling his black mother a bitch. His reason and explanation for that disrespect was that he feels isolated and rejected from his creator. It completely went over everyone's head. Three big grown adults who missed an opportunity to have him expound further, and talk more about that hurt, that parental alienation that he's feeling behind him coming out to his mother. Jerrod Carmichael's mother is a devout Christian. Again, born in North Carolina, Bible Belt. I have learned about him that he was a church boy, grew up in church, a good kid, grew up in church, struggles with his relationship with God, trying to reimagine that for himself because he feels like him being a gay man, a black gay man, that he's being cursed or that God is maybe going to punish him. I just, what I don't understand about us in general, black culture in general, black culture as a what do you call, as a staff, a record label, and a whole crew. Black culture, what I don't understand is how the majority of us don't see that there are a lot of us within black culture who are bullied by our own people for being educated, for being well spoken, for being overachievers or high achievers or high earners. We're teased and mocked. I was called an Oreo my whole life growing up. I never dealt with any colorism issues. That's a separate topic that I want to discuss at some point. I have never in my life dealt with colorism. I'm literally, no lie. I wish I was lying. No, I don't. I'm glad that I never knew what it was. I never knew what colorism was growing up. So I have not experienced colorism. It is way too late for me to now have low self-esteem or have the understanding as a big grown adult that I'm supposed to not like myself because I'm a chocolate girl. Number one, pretty privilege has a lot to do with that. So we're just going to be honest. But I've never had the experience of being ostracized from my own community for being a darker skinned chocolate woman, but I have most certainly had the experience of being called an Oreo. You talk white. You want to be white. You think you're white by my own people. Was bullied from 5th to 8th grade. That was my only experience of ever being in an all black community, an all black middle school that I went to, an all black environment, and was in a state of culture shock like you could not believe. In my younger years and then beyond grade school, in high school, and then in university and throughout life, I have been in mixed environments, mixed communities where my education, my smarts, my intellect was embraced. It wasn't until I got around us nigglets that I was teased for speaking English. I understand now what that was. It was other people's projections, their own insecurities. A whole lot of us today still can't and don't read and don't teach the babies how to read because we can't. But we're on social media all day, every day, typing and displaying the worst of the worst hood rat and beef behavior all over social media. But then we have so much to say about those who come from 2-parent households, come from something and not the mud. I didn't get anything out of the mud. I'm proud to say that. I had a grandmother who could not read or write. I had a mother who was not having it. A lot of us have that shared experience of all of the trauma that we've ever experienced came from our own people. I'm one of those, right? All the unpacking that I've ever had to do has come at the hands of my own people. the teasing, the bullying, the being called a bourgeois and an elite, and you are somehow supposed a self-hating Black American, and somehow trying to assimilate to white culture because you want to be excellent as a person and in your field and you want to excel. Um, Not understanding that, again, the air becomes very rare and it is hard to cultivate Black partnership, Black friendships, uh, maintain connection with family members, friends, needing to separate and leave people behind who display a certain level of low class behavior that's just not acceptable outside of the ghetto, not acceptable outside of the hood, only qualifies you for careers at Popeyes flipping French fries. And then that same subsector of Black folks pretends that you want your children to break generational curses, and you want your children to be educated and successful. But again, that love-hate relationship, the bipolarism, I I highly admire Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. I highly admire so many others, but I'm speaking specific Black men, high earners, high achievers in areas and arenas outside of sports and rap music. Donald Glover, Idris Elba, um, Frank Ocean. Like I said, Tyler the Creator, I think as a human being, in my personal opinion, is a tad bit goofy. His personality, but his art and his work is phenomenal. I am a fan of his music. I'm a huge fan of his music. I don't listen to it often that much anymore, but I am. I feel like we're so divided and so conflicted, and we're all hypocrites and we're all liars. We don't know what we want, but we want to spin others in circles, gaslight us. That whole interview was a gaslighting session and a ton of missed opportunities to further the conversation about Black men and their mental health. Black gay men. How about we could have furthered the conversation to discuss Black men who are bisexual, who are on the down low, who are trans attracted, who really like who have an attraction to transgender or transsexual women, women who are born male, and they hold a lot of shame and guilt behind it, and they don't speak about it. They hide in the dark. They get exposed and outed by others. They're ostracized. That was a complete missed opportunity to further that conversation. There are so many Black men up and down the internet, who could have benefited from that conversation. Um, Taking it deeper than BS, salacious gossip, and nonsense headlines. It seems on social media, all that we want to do with one another is beef. That's all we want to do. And disrespecting Black women has become a sport just because, for no reason other than we're alive and breathing. Whatever way that Black women can be disrespected all up and down social media, it's like a running joke. You say you don't like Black men, say that they don't like ratchet Black women. They say that they don't like hood rats. Black men say that they don't like Black women who are single baby mamas with multiple kids, but you create the single baby mamas. You guys, we are your living, breathing, walking, talking representation of God here on earth. We give birth to you nappy headed Negroes. We give birth to you. We nurture you, love you, care for you, stand in the gap when you are absent, when you are inadequate to lead or parent your babies, when you all are over at Keisha's house or Tamika and Rashida's house creating more broken homes, and you leave your babies to fend for themselves, knowing that Black boys need a positive Black male role model. They do what they see you do, not what you say. This is so deep, and it really is all tied into I don't get how someone who calls himself a mental health advocate, you say you struggle with issues with your own mental health, you call that Black man your friend, but you couldn't call that Black man on the telephone and have a conversation with him and gain clarity. Instead, you use his joke as a punchline and a reason to garner negative attention, uh, giving him donkey of the day. There are far more people who deserve donkey of the day who you overlook intentionally. And pause right there. Far more people that you should be giving donkey of the day to, Charlemagne, who really deserve it in our community, not Jerrod Carmichael, not someone who you call your friend. It wasn't warranted. Missed opportunity. You owe that man an apology. I am learning from observing the industry and trying to tiptoe around it in my high heels and my dresses and barely growing my brand, barely bad at my job of content creation. My therapy sessions have turned into literally comedy hour. My therapist and I'm scrolling on my telephone, showing him like, just look at this shit right here. I try not to curse, y'all. I'm sorry. So unladylike. Just look at this shit. Can you believe this shit? Can you believe that this is the dumb stuff that we talk about all day long? No wonder we're failing in life. We're only 13% of the population, but we are number one in poverty, passed around trauma. As I tiptoe in my high heels and dresses and get called bougie and bourgeois was my nickname in corporate America by other Black women who look just like me, who I didn't want to hang out with or hang around because of their behavior, because of the messiness and the office gossip that they kept going. We know how office environments are. Just if you can't tell, I'm having a visceral response to this. This is very highly triggering for me, this whole interview. He didn't deserve it. Charlemagne, I don't understand. And Charlemagne, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I know you listen to my content. I'm aware that you're aware of me. I know you listen to my content. I know that I think that you have a level of respect for me. I think that you, these are my assumptions. I think that you, we're both from South Carolina. I think that you, in my opinion, I don't know this to be true, like I said, have a high level of respect for me and are someone and is someone who appreciates what I'm trying to offer to the social media space. This is difficult for me. I feel like I'm one of the only Black women standing in the gap in this space, in this way, showing up in this way, showing up as a fully green Black woman, fully green, you know, didn't get anything out of any mud. I feel like that would be a slap in the face if I tried to pretend that I didn't work hard for whatever I've achieved or attained in whatever fields I've been a part of up to now. I am struggling so badly and doing my content creation job so poorly because again, and I at this point, I don't know that it's an excuse, but it's definitely a fight or flight mode that I'm in. It's this internet is triggering. These topics are highly triggering for me. I feel that a lot of us are not a lot of the Black folks who stand in the gap in these spaces on social media with no backing or support, with a woman-led single woman show podcast, and I'm on Instagram as well, YouTube. So that's why I'm diverting my gaze in both places. I feel like, again, I'm one of the only ones standing in the gap in this space, in this way, showing up in this way with this sort of, these sort of talking points, conversations that are necessary and that matter and that will move us forward without any support or backing. Like I said, doing a bad job at it because of some of my takes. And I'm so afraid to say things that are offensive to us. But at the same time, I feel it necessary to say the things that are offensive to us, to shake us up. Charlamagne, you got this one wrong. I know you listen to me. I know you do. You may not listen to every single video I do. You may not listen to all my content, but I know that you listen. I know that you're aware of who I am. My opinion of you, Charlamagne, is that you are also another brilliant Black man. Brilliant. You, I feel, have a genius quality about you that you dumb down when you are on the Breakfast Club because, and you know what you're doing. You do it purposefully because you know your audience. I feel like, Black folks on social media love way too much neglect behavior, and then we want to sit back and complain about reparations and the white man, and it's everybody's fault except our own. We know how we got here. Nobody wants to keep revisiting the past because you can't change it. No one wants to keep talking about, I'm from the streets and the hood and I got it out the mud. You're not anymore. You've made it now. So let's talk about furthering the conversation. Let's talk about some solutions. Let's talk about how we pull others up. Let's talk about how we change the conversation and change the narrative and start having conversations that really do matter about subject matters that are going to pull us up and out higher, not in a circular mode. We love the hood rat beef and drama, the back and forth, the nothing conversations. We love to complain about an artist who works hard to produce their art, musicians, rappers, this and that, and we critique it down to the ground instead of just enjoying the art for what it is. If you don't enjoy it, turn it off. You don't have to listen. We make intentional choices every single day to wake up angry, get on social media, and take out our anger on whoever in whoever's comment section who will listen. We are some of the outside of Black women who are doing a damn good job of holding the fort down. We are lacking in so many areas where we need growth, where we can grow if more of us were more intentional. If more of us made more of an effort, if more of us came out of hiding and didn't use other people as a shield to convey how we really feel about these platforms and about the nothing conversations and the goofiness. Big Black men, big Black men at your big ages with your emotional meltdowns and your temper tantrums. Big Black men, unfit to be partners, unfit to be husbands. The M word, marriage, monogamy are like diseases to you all. Are we going to be honest? I feel like a lot of the visceral response toward Jerrod Carmichael had nothing to do with his joke. I feel like people intentionally turned that joke into something that it wasn't, just to point out the fact that he is in partnership with a white man. I am an advocate for Black love. I am all for Black nuclear families, but they just aren't really happening that often anymore. We are obsessed with baby mama and baby daddy culture. Black men are obsessed with creating, a lot of Black men, not all, a lot, creating broken homes. Multiple broken homes aren't qualified or fit to lead a woman out of a paper bag, let alone lead a whole household. I'm speaking a lot, some, not all. Are we going to be honest or are we going to be honest? Look at Serena Williams. Look at Eve, the former rapper, Serena Williams, tennis star. Two women now highly accomplished in their careers, breathing rare air. Black women, highly educated, highly successful. Couldn't They dated Black men? We love you all, Black men, but let's be for real. What options did they have? both married white men. Again, we know Serena's dating history. If you don't know it, Google it. I'm aware of it. We know Eve's dating history. Look at those black men. Look at them. Are they fit to lead a household? Black women have adopted this trope of strong, loud, proud. I put a house on my back and I build it and I carry it and I carry the household and I take care of the kids, and we're supposed to be beautiful and maintain a size 6 and maintain our mental health and keep our nails and pedicures done and keep our hair done and have our makeup tight and be soft and pink and be soft spoken and articulate and nurture the household. We do all the things. In addition to, we're also expected to work. We're also expected to be the maid, cook, clean. Um, as soon as we ask for something or feel like we're worth something, then we're called gold diggers. It is so backwards. It's wild. Whereas the few black men who are qualified to lead households and be great partners and husbands to us are just expected to get up, you halfway brush your teeth, you scratch your I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to be all the way distasteful. I've already taken this conversation far into the ground. You get up halfway, take care of your hygiene, put on an outfit every day, a black t-shirt and some black leggings, and you go to work, and then you come home. And we are expected to do everything else, but we don't deserve anything. And as soon as you ask for something, these same black men have the audacity to ask, what do you bring to the table? Have the audacity. The conversations back and forth, the 50-50 and all this, it's nauseating at this point. I don't care to dive into that arena. Again, I know I'm flying this plane all over the world. It's all relative. It's all relative. Yes, Jerrod Carmichael found love with a white man. Let him be in love. Yeah, I'm an advocate for Black love, but it's unrealistic for some of us once you reach a certain level of life and you want an equal partner or someone who is above you so that they can maintain their ego, their decency, their self-worth. We don't want to emasculate our partner. There are some women who have the thorough understanding that role reversal relationships do not work. Those dynamics, no man wants to hold your purse while you are the breadwinner. Look at around you at all of the examples of Black women, highly successful, highly educated, highly just the top 1%. Once we reach that status quo, that level of success, that level of intellect, where we want a like-minded partner, the air is rare. The air is rare. I believe in finding love wherever you can find love. I don't think that I believe in, if that man came out as gay, let that man live. Let him be gay. He's gay. He has said multiple times he has struggled with his identity, struggled to come out to his family. His family relationships and dynamics are severed. He's in this interview in front of Charlemagne the God, self-proclaimed mental health advocate, being gaslit all over the place. And you can see he came in standing on business, still as charismatic and funny, trying to make light of the conversation, trying not to go ham. Came in with gifts to soften the blow, but he stood on business. He said what he said, and he gave an explanation as to what he meant. And someone is sitting in front of your face telling you what they meant, telling you what's being reported online was taken out of context, and you're in this man's face trying to tell him that he didn't mean what he said. It's wild. A lot of the Black folks who actually do go to therapy need therapy because of other Black folks. That's the God honest truth. Because of the wolves of our communities who seek to not understand, who seek to harm intentionally or unintentionally, who seek no level of an objective perspective, no level of higher thinking beyond a reactionary, uh, a knee jerk reaction behind whatever it is that you heard or said that didn't sit right with you. This man is telling you how he feels and he's being invalidated. Like I said, I am fond of Jerrod Carmichael's art. I think that it is necessary. I think that a lot of us are extremely egotistical, and there's a tad bit of narcissism that exists in all of us. There's a tad bit. There's an unhealthy level of narcissism in someone who cannot see life from any other level of perspective other than your own. And you are sitting in the face of someone who is literally bleeding, and you are just digging deeper into that wound. It's so unfair. We do that to each other, though. We're so comfortable. There's another thing that this narrative that black on black crime doesn't exist. Yeah, it does. It's evident all over social media every single day. Black on black violence, black on black crime. That young black man, Charlemagne, is supposed to be your brother. We harm each other every single day because we're so familiar with one another, but you would not give that same energy to your white, to some of the white men some of your white colleagues, some of the white men that you are in business with, that you do business with, I haven't seen it. I recently saw the one clip. And again, this for me has all come full circle within the last 24 hours. I didn't know any of this was going on, but I recently saw the clip where you aired out, the bosses of iHeart, because of you not getting a response back as to why the Breakfast Club has the radio portion of the show has been canceled in the Atlanta market. I get it, I hear you, but you don't give white folks the same level of smoke that you give your own. A lot of us do not. We feel so comfortable disrespecting each other. Black men in particular, again, we give birth to you nappy headed Negroes. We are the ones who take care of your black boys and our black nephews and our black cousins and our black brothers when you guys are absent, when you go to prison, when you are over down at Rashida and Keisha's house, just in the wind for no reason. We stand in the gap. You all disrespect us every day, all day. You call us the B word. You say that you don't like hood rats, or you say that you're tired of the twerking and all that online. You say, you rallied behind Kevin Samuels and all his antics tearing down black women. He could have made his same points in a manner that was a lot more mature. I understood his point and what it was doing. I understood the premise behind. I think I understood the premise behind what he was doing. But at the same time, this is a black man who died on top of a random, and y'all were following this man. Died on top of a random, someone he didn't even know. Y'all rally behind him to disrespect black women in a group. But then you are the same men who will sit with one phone in your hand and the other hand on social media and on OnlyFans, staring at all the naked black women online, supporting the black women who disrespect themselves, who don't know any better, who are obviously broken, suffering with their own mental health issues and traumas that are unresolved, unaddressed. We don't talk about the molestation that goes on in the black community, which is also a cause of a lot of our traumas, unhealed hurt, unhealed brokenness. A lot of those women online that are naked are traumatized introduced to sex way too early, no sex education, no proper guidance or role models in the home. I'm telling you, I'm taking this plane all over the world. These are things that need to be said. You all disrespect us on a continual basis, then we love you so much. You act as if you hate us. A lot of you all do not stand up for us. A lot of you all do not support us. If the audio is good, put a 1 in the chat. I see you all who have joined. Thank you for watching. I'm telling you. And this is not, listen, I'm just narrating what I observe. I'm just narrating what I observe. These are just facts. I'm definitely not bitter or hurt. I've healed my own, childhood wounds and traumas, through therapy. Like I said, at this point, my therapy sessions are comedy hour. They really are. Scrolling social media, like this is what I'm getting ready to talk about. Look at this foolishness. Look at the way we have to dumb ourselves down to talk about nothing conversations, circular conversations, and then have to take it so wide to make it a point that's actually useful and digestible. Something that we can actually use as homework, food for thought, to be different and be better, to try and do it right the next time we're presented with this opportunity. Missed opportunity. That interview could have gone so differently. That man got on that platform, Jerrod Carmichael. He congratulated Jess, which I'm happy for her as well. I'm so happy for so many of us. If it weren't for social media, there's a large majority of us that would be still in the unemployment line or at McDonald's or Burger King. Social media is the only place that it is socially acceptable to display a lot of the behaviors that we display, a lot of the violence, a lot of the hate speech. I'm glad the social media rules and guidelines have changed behind the violence, hate speech, the unnecessary back and forth beef. Things escalate from social media and are taken to the streets in real life, and our young Black men are dying. And no one is standing in the gap. Not in any real way. Not in any real way. I'm not going to say no one. That was a misquote. That was a misstep on my part. There are very few of us, and our voices are so small. Some of us have large voices. Some of us are doing what we can. It's unfair for the few who are invested in change to take the whole culture on our back and carry it. It's a weight that I refuse to carry. It's a 300-pound gorilla that requires everyone to look in the mirror and do their own work. But see, social media rewards us for our bad behavior. So why not continue it? The beef content is pushed up in the algorithm. They want us to take ourselves out of here. They want us to harm one another. Black on Black crime is a real thing. Sorry, it is. It's a real thing. There are some Black folks who intentionally leave their own environments and intentionally come into other environments and target Black folks to disturb and commit their crimes against, disturb the peace, menaces to society, criminally insane. Criminally insane. Black on Black crime does exist. The mental health crisis in the Black community is so great, so large, so grand. It is such an issue that doesn't reach enough ears. Not enough of us are taking charge of our own mental health. And the same ones who will get in the comments, oh, you talking about mental health, talking about some therapy. Y'all are the ones that need it the most. You're the ones that need it the most. You are. You're the ones that need it the most to become more self-aware, peaceful human beings. Really love yourselves and each other. The first thing that's thrown out when you see an educated Black person, self-hate, want to be white, don't love themselves. Again, my nickname growing up was Oreo from 5th to 8th grade because I speak English. It's sad. Don't you want your kids to speak English? Don't you want your kids in high earning careers or entrepreneurs in their own right, or creatives, or whatever it is that they want to be? Don't you want your children to excel? I don't understand the love hate relationship that we have with everything that doesn't mirror bottom shelf, low vibrating, low hanging, toxic behavior. Anything that doesn't resemble street hood behavior is hated by the Black community. But at the same time, you say you want different. Pick a struggle. Which one is it? We speak against those who like luxury, who have a little bit of luxury, who aren't braggadocious and boastful about it. But as soon as you get this reparations that you'll be waiting forever for, the first thing you want to do is go to the Chrysler dealership, the BMW dealership, the Mercedes-Benz dealership, whatever high-end luxury car you can get, jewelry, whatever jewelry you can buy, whatever Chanel purses and Birkin bags that you want to obtain. The last thing that we think about is land ownership. The last thing that we think about are stocks and investments. The last things that we think about are growing our wealth, ways to grow our money and make it work for us. Those are the last things we think about. Not enough of us are educated in financial literacy. Not enough of us are educated on our own consumer credit. Not enough of us pay enough attention to the things that actually matter. I commend those who are invested in their own personal growth, the betterment of us as a culture. It's taxing though. It's extremely taxing to be one of the few. I think I cut off my own thought. Again, I was saying, as a Black woman, we don't have enough conversations, Black women, that when you reach a certain level of education, or um, climb the corporate ladder in a way and reach a certain level of success, or become an entrepreneur, business owner, entertainer, what have you, sports figure, whatever it is, and you reach that certain level, that certain height, that certain peak of success, you are breathing rare air. And our Black counterparts aren't up there with us. So if we want partnership, like-minded partnership, if we want a strong, a positive role model in the home to raise our children, to be great leaders, great fathers, great husbands, a lot of us are having to stay outside of our race. I mean, just can we be honest about that? Can we be honest about that? Our options become very limited, very limited. This is something I've been tiptoeing and tap dancing around for a very long time, but I feel a conversation needs to be had. It needs to be said. It isn't our job to spoon feed. Yeah, we have this natural nature. We have a natural nurturing spirit about us. We have a natural love for our Black men. We have a natural love for our Black sons. A lot of mothers with Black boys favor their boys, their sons, over their daughters, will coddle their sons over their daughters. The sons get away with a lot more than the girls do from a lot of Black moms. We don't talk about it enough, but they aren't being raised. They aren't being pushed, a lot of them, our Black boys, to into areas and environments to get proper leadership, proper guidance if the father is absent from the home, to seek out positive male role models for your sons to model their lives after. Look at LeBron James. He comes from a broken home. I don't know of any trouble that he's been in. His mother seemed to be enough, or she got him around the right groups of people. I believe I may have heard a story, I'm not quite sure, about maybe some Black male role model that he may have had, a Black male coach or something when he was younger. I'm not quite sure. I would have to look into that. Neither here nor there, but there are very few Black men who come from broken homes who wind up making it up and out. you know? Again, that donkey of the day, the Breakfast Club interview, missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. I feel like Jerrod Carmichael thoroughly explained himself and apologized publicly to Dave Chappelle and was sincere in walking back, standing on his statements, but walking back the fact that he did it publicly. I have heard him say in interviews, like I said, I've been following him for about 5 years now. That interview on The Breakfast Club was what encouraged me, among other things, to actually go and see my father. I'm taking this to heart because I feel a personal way. And I don't know any of these people. It's wild. But again, it's a conversation worth having. Um, in my head, Jerrod Carmichael and I would be friends. He'd be my gay best friend. I think he's so a genius, so smart, has so much to offer. Um, yeah. Sorry, guys, if that cut off for a second. The computer was giving me a notification. If you're in the chat, leave a one, leave a comment. Let me know if you're following me on this logic. It seems kind of scattered and erratic and all over the place, but it isn't. It isn't. It's all relative. Missed opportunity. Again, so many Black men suffer from being gay, struggling with their identity, being bisexual, being trans attracted, not being accepted by their own communities, looked at or feeling shame and guilt and feeling like they're being looked at. Jerrod Carmichael expressed that he feels anxiety often as a Black man going into other spaces with other alpha Black men, strong Black men, and him being the gay one. That's a conversation to expound on. That's a level of hurt and pain to be explored. Let's talk about that. Let's welcome him with open arms. Let's give him a soft landing. Look at the comparison. If any of you all, if you're listening to my dialogue, my opinion regarding this, and you haven't seen Jerrod Carmichael on The Breakfast Club or Jerrod Carmichael in his interview with Jay Shetty, the On Purpose podcast, do a comparison. Again, it's only the latest video, in my opinion, that went totally left. Jerrod Carmichael has been on The Breakfast Club numerous times that I've seen. Interviews that I thought were great, brilliant, amazing, open, honest, transparent conversations and dialogue about healing, about who he is as a person, about addressing the infidelity in his own parental dynamic. His father having multiple children outside of his marriage to his mother, him coming from a two-parent household, Bible Belt, kid who grew up in church. I can relate. I can relate. There's something that he has said multiple times, that he isn't one to want to garner public attention. He creates his art. He minds his own business. He doesn't bother anyone. He's quiet. He has said multiple times in interviews, I've seen him say he doesn't do the whole social media thing. He laughs at it. He thinks it's a joke. I do too. I wouldn't be on here doing this if it weren't an opportunity to grow my brand and make money. I think it's a joke. I always did. I always felt that way. People are on here wasting their time writing coloring books with using their thumbs as crayons with all the emojis in the comments, instead of actually creating a children's book and selling it. You write coloring books using all those emojis and typing all day long. You don't get paid for those typing comments and your opinions. You don't get paid. I'm being honest as someone who needs engagement on my I'm being honest. I'm not going to sit here. I can't fake. I can't. It's who I am. What you see is what you get with me. I'm the same way in person. Same way. I don't like small talk. I think most highly intelligent people. A lot of us do not. We despise small talk. We want to have the intellectual conversations. And when we look to our left and right, it is hard pressed to find someone who looks like us to have these higher level, more intellectual conversations. It is. It is. Jerrod Carmichael has expressed multiple times his fear of his father, him uh, being afraid that he'll turn out just like his father, him on the on his HBO special, on his reality show, showing that his lack of connection with his family, his lack of support from his mother, the parental alienation from her is what causes him to seek random connections with men on Grindr. A lot of you black men do the exact same thing, but you just do it with women. You have a rotation of women. Some of you all, again, leave broken homes in your wake. Some of you don't. It's the same exact thing. It's just a heterosexual situation and not a gay one. His traumas that are being played out in real time on his reality show, I think, are triggering to a lot of black men and are jarring. It is something that we have never seen before. I have been a fan since day one. I think I've seen 3 episodes thus far. I don't know if the 4th one came out yet. I've been a fan. You all need to go research him. Do some deeper research. He's a young Cosby back when Cosby, before his image was tarnished. He is brilliant. A young Cosby on a different level intellectually. Why is it not okay for black folks to point out the fact that there are class levels and hierarchies within the black community? Why is that not okay? Why do we have to tiptoe and tap dance around that when that's the elephant in the room? Why is it not okay to say that a lot of us do not feel comfortable around our own when it comes to certain things? We don't feel comfortable discussing certain topics because we know it won't be taken seriously. Our feelings will be discounted. We won't be seen or heard. Why is that not a more regular conversation to have? Why do we need a Candace Owens that everyone seems to hate for no good reason that I can find? Again, I don't know all of Candace Owens' rhetoric. I don't know all her rhetoric. I know some of her talking points are valid. Some of her opinions and views are valid. Some of them are. We don't always have to agree with 100% of everything that comes out of our mouths, but let's listen to logic and take what we can from whatever conversation we're hearing. Let's hold on to what we can use. Why is that so hard for us to do? We're so triggered. We're so in our feelings all the time. How it made you feel, how it made you. No one's trying to intentionally hurt your feelings. Some things just are. Some things just are. The same way a lot of us have had to come to the tough decision to leave some of us behind because some of us just are. Some of us just are. We are what we are. We are what we are. Why is that not okay to discuss? Like I said, do a comparison with Jerrod Carmichael's interview on Jay Shetty versus his latest interview on The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne, you're a brilliant man. You dumb yourself down to appeal to a lesser audience. You do it on purpose because when I see you in other spaces, you come alive. Your intelligence and your wit and your humor and your genius is on full display in certain areas, but in other arenas, you are very intentional about dumbing yourself down and pretending that you don't understand when we all know full well that you do. We have work to do as a community, And at this point, like I'm telling you, there has been a guardian angel all this time telling me, you care too much, you care too much, you care too much, you care too much, you care too much. I don't know how to not care, but at the same time, I get it. I do care too much, to the point where my emotions and feelings are only active when I'm in this space, when I'm in this capacity. I'm telling you, other than that, for the most part, it's like it is the same thing every single day, and it's never going to stop. It's never going to end. It's never going to stop. Not until social media gets cut off and there is no more monetization and there is nothing else to gain from it. And then I guess maybe we'll be, a lot more of us will be back in the street harming each other because we don't know how to heal. A lot of us, we're not taught how to love ourselves. You want to talk about some self-hate because he's dating a white man. Self-hate for anyone who finds love outside of our own race. Self-hatred? Is that what you really want to say to those who find love where they can find love? As an advocate of Black love? Self-hate, really? The self-hate is perpetuated all day, every day against your own brother and sister. Even when they're in your face pleading with you for clarity and understanding, he's asking over and over again, please stop. I understand Harvey Levin of TMZ doesn't care about destroying people's lives. He doesn't care, is what Jerrod Carmichael said out of his own mouth, the TMZ platform. They do not care. They do not care. They have their own interests at heart. They have their own vested interests. But he said, as a friend, I'm asking you, please, please don't do that. I'm a person. My boyfriend is a person. I'm asking that you please not do this. Charlamagne, you just kept going. I'm like, what is he on? What is he on? I was so disappointed, in disbelief. Thank you everyone for joining. I was so disappointed. I was in complete, just utter disbelief. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, mental health advocate. What is he not hearing from his friend? That's what makes it worse. It hurts worse when it's from a friend, someone you call or consider a friend, or a family member, especially someone who is a very close family member or relative. I can relate. It hurts worse. It's the worst level of hurt, the worst level of hurt. You all, I haven't learned yet how to present. I haven't learned yet how to add slides into my presentation. I wish I could have added in the interview so that you all could hear and gain a better context of what I was saying. Yeah, but man, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about my opinion, my take. Let me know what your opinion, your take is. Do some full homework and research. Use your critical thinking skills. Provide an objective opinion, an objective perspective outside of your personal feelings. We have got to start looking at the world with from an aerial view, with a broader set of eyes and ears to gain a deeper understanding. It helps you in every area of your life. Every area of your life in relating to other humans. That interview was painful to watch. He was making such he was such a good sport, Jerrod Carmichael. Such a good sport. He was such a good sport. He was laughy, jokey, charismatic the whole entire time. I'm like, wow, either he's had great media training or he does have a really, really, really high level of emotional intelligence where he was able to maintain himself and just dismiss the whole conversation. And Charlamagne, you stood on business too, in the worst way possible, telling that man, that black man, Charlamagne, your black brother, your friend, in his face that you're not going to apologize to him. Both of y'all stood on business, but that's what we see all day, every day from you big black men, you big black men, which at your big ages, you're our leaders, right? Black women are expected to bear the weight of the world, still love you nappy headed Negroes, love you through everything, excuse your behavior, excuse the levels of toxicity that you guys sometimes display. Um, be quiet about everything. A lot of you black men most certainly do not like black women with an opinion. A lot of you black men hate black women a lot of you black men hate us just in general, it seems. Don't know what that's about. A lot of you black men especially hate black women with an opinion. It's wild. I would say for social media to leave Jerrod Carmichael alone, or if you want to continue with the rhetoric that you're spewing, look within, gain a deeper understanding. Let that man live. Let him love who he wants to love. Let him live in his identity and work on his own level of self awareness, his own healing work that he's doing out loud that a whole lot of folks don't have the courage to do. At the same exact time, again, place the focus on yourself. Very few of us on social media are able to do that, but we are so easily, we're quick to discuss the lives of others, tear other people down, but you don't want that same smoke in return. A lot of y'all would have pure D emotional meltdowns if anyone were to ever speak about your family, friends, your kids in the manner that you speak about other people. Black on black crime doesn't exist. Really? Crime is about proximity. A lot of us are very intentional with where we place our focus, just not intentional enough about where we need to place our focus. I have talked way too much. I have said way too much. I need to just bake my biscuits and my pineapple upside down cakes and be quiet, right? That's what I should be doing. A podcast is very dangerous for me, as it is for a whole lot of you all that went to the Best Buy clearance sale and bought podcast equipment and microphones and headphones during COVID and are on here on the internet just with all the nonsense. They shouldn't have sold me my equipment either. I'm telling you. I'm going to end it here. Love, travel, and manifest. Live your life for purpose without asking anyone else for permission. And in case no one told you today, I love you. If you can't tell, I do love you. I do. Not in a Monique way. I love us for real. Not like that. But it's just, I mean, it's exhaustion at a certain point. What are you supposed to do? I'm only narrating what I see. I'm the orator. That's all. I'm not doing it. I'm just the orator. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about the content. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. And I will check in with you soon.